Tesla, the company once hailed as the pioneer of the electric vehicle revolution, has just suffered one of its most severe blows, and it happened in a place where it was once adored. Sweden, a progressive nation that embraced electric vehicles early, has turned its back on Tesla. The result? A staggering 90% drop in Tesla's sales within the country. That's not a typo. Tesla didn't just lose market share, it lost its foothold. Real quick, if you're into videos that cut through the noise and break things down clearly, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps more people find this. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a good time. We've got more deep dives coming your way. Also, drop a comment and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your take. Now onto the video. This collapse isn't because Swedes are giving up on electric cars. Quite the opposite. The EV market in Sweden is booming. More people are buying electric vehicles than ever before. But they're not choosing Tesla anymore. Instead, they're flocking to competitors like Volvo, Polestar, and even Chinese brands like BYD. This signals something far more serious than a temporary sales slump. Tesla's decline in Sweden reflects a broader cultural and political backlash, one that could have ripple effects far beyond Scandinavia. So, what triggered this mass exodus? Sweden is known for its strong social values, equality, collective responsibility, and robust labor protections. It's a country that doesn't just tolerate unions, it treasures them as a vital part of its workforce. Tesla's recent controversies, especially its anti-union stance and CEO Elon Musk's increasingly controversial political positions, have sparked outrage among Swedish consumers. It's not just about cars anymore, it's about values. And Swedish buyers are sending a clear message. They're unwilling to support a company that clashes with their national ethos. Tesla's troubles in Sweden are not isolated. In fact, the sales collapse is part of a broader wave of dissatisfaction that's beginning to sweep across Europe. But Sweden was the first domino to fall, and it's falling hard. The magnitude of this drop, 90%, would be catastrophic in any industry. But in the fiercely competitive EV market, where momentum is everything, this kind of decline is a red alert. Tesla's dominance, which once seemed untouchable, is now looking vulnerable. What's especially alarming is how quickly this happened. Just a year ago, Tesla was seen as a symbol of futuristic innovation in Sweden. Its Model 3 was one of the best-selling cars in the country. Charging stations were popping up everywhere. The brand was on the rise. Now, dealerships are empty. Inventories are swelling. And perhaps most concerning of all, public sentiment has shifted. Tesla is no longer seen as a progressive brand. Instead, it's viewed as a symbol of corporate arrogance, tone-deaf leadership, and political controversy. And here's where it gets worse. Tesla's decline in Sweden isn't just a matter of poor sales figures. It's a public relations nightmare. Media coverage has been relentless. Headlines across Swedish newspapers and tech blogs have painted a dire picture of the brand's downfall. Stories of poor customer service, quality control issues, and Musk's political tirades dominate the news cycle. In a country that once celebrated Tesla's disruptive energy, the narrative has flipped. Now, Tesla is the establishment brand under fire. A company that once represented innovation and sustainability is being criticized for embodying elitism and insensitivity. This reputational damage is what makes the situation so dangerous. Once a brand loses the trust of a market, rebuilding that trust is far harder than rebuilding sales. As the Swedish EV market continues to grow, other brands are stepping in to fill the void Tesla left behind. And they're doing it with messaging that resonates with Swedish values, commitment to sustainability, strong labor rights, and respect for local cultures. This is not just a bump in the road for Tesla. It's a sharp detour, one that might take years to recover from. But the collapse in Sweden is only the beginning. Elon Musk, once hailed as a visionary entrepreneur who challenged industry norms and reshaped the future of mobility, is now at the center of a growing cultural and political rift, especially in Europe. His increasingly vocal political stances, coupled with Tesla's anti-union reputation, are clashing head-on with the deeply rooted values held by many European nations, particularly Sweden. And that clash is beginning to cost Tesla more than just its reputation. It's costing it the loyalty of its core markets. To understand Tesla's decline in Sweden and similar European markets, you need to understand what Elon Musk represents today versus what he represented 5 years ago. Once, he was the embodiment of forward-thinking innovation, a tech pioneer who wasn't afraid to disrupt legacy industries. But lately, that image has been replaced with something far more polarizing. Musk has openly aligned himself with controversial figures and political movements. His public support for former President Donald Trump and repeated criticisms of unions have made headlines worldwide. In America, these positions may have earned him support in certain circles, but in Europe, where collective bargaining, labor rights, and social equity are core tenets of political life, Musk's stances feel like a provocation. In countries like Sweden, where labor unions are not just tolerated but celebrated, Musk's frequent battles with U.S. unions and his dismissive tone toward worker advocacy strike a nerve. Swedish workers don't just want clean technology, they want ethical practices. And when Tesla refuses to sign collective bargaining agreements, it sends a message that resonates poorly with the European workforce. But it's not just Tesla's labor policies under scrutiny, it's Musk himself. His personal use of Twitter, now X, as a platform to amplify his views on a wide range of political topics has raised eyebrows and fueled resentment. Musk's online presence is erratic, often blending satire, sarcasm, and serious opinion in a way that confuses and frustrates consumers and investors alike. In Europe, political neutrality in business is still valued. Leaders who wade too far into ideology are often seen as distractions or liabilities. When Musk criticizes public health officials, mocks politicians, or questions environmental regulations, it creates the impression, fair or not, that Tesla is less concerned with global citizenship and more interested in Musk's personal agenda. For European buyers, especially those in Scandinavia, this shift in perception is more than superficial. They're asking hard questions. Can a company that disrespects unions really be a force for good? Can a CEO who amplifies conspiracy theories be trusted to lead the clean energy transition? As a result, Tesla is no longer being evaluated purely on its vehicles or technology. It's being judged on the values of its leadership, and in this arena, it's faltering. Compare that to companies like Volvo and Polestar. These brands have embraced local values, championed workers' rights, and remained largely apolitical in their messaging. Their leadership is stable, measured, and collaborative. While Tesla draws headlines for its CEO's controversial tweets, Volvo garners praise for quietly advancing sustainable innovation. This stark contrast is not lost on consumers. In a marketplace where every EV manufacturer boasts cutting-edge technology, the differentiator has become ethics, values, and image. And here, Tesla has positioned itself at odds with the very audience it once captivated. The ideological gap between Elon Musk's public persona and European consumer expectations is widening, and with every politically charged tweet, every anti-union stance, that gap grows harder to bridge. Tesla may still be producing advanced vehicles, but in Europe, its brand is rapidly becoming a symbol of disruption in the worst possible sense. Not disruptive innovation, but disruptive leadership. And the cost of that is becoming clear. While Tesla battles public perception and political backlash in Europe, one product in particular has emerged as a symbol of the company's deeper problems: the Cybertruck. Touted as the future of electric pickup trucks, the Cybertruck was supposed to be a revolutionary product that redefined utility and design. Instead, it has become a cautionary tale of overpromising and under-delivering. When Elon Musk first unveiled the Cybertruck in 2019, the hype was immediate. Its bold, angular design looked like something out of a science fiction film. Musk claimed it would be nearly indestructible, able to outperform traditional pickups in strength, durability, and performance. The announcement was accompanied by jaw-dropping claims and a flashy demonstration, including the infamous bulletproof glass test, which shattered on stage. Still, the public was intrigued. Pre-orders surged. The Cybertruck was positioned as Tesla's next great disruption, a vehicle that would shake up the legacy truck market in the United States and attract buyers worldwide. Fast forward to today, and the reality is starkly different. Production delays plagued the Cybertruck from the beginning. Repeated postponements eroded consumer excitement. When it finally began limited deliveries, early reviews painted a troubling picture. Build quality was inconsistent. Fit and finish issues were widespread. Technical glitches and mechanical concerns were reported within days of ownership. The promised specs, especially regarding towing capacity and battery range, fell short of expectations. But perhaps more damaging than the product flaws is the reputational hit the Cybertruck has dealt to Tesla. It exemplifies a growing trend. Elon Musk makes bold promises that generate massive hype, but the end product struggles to meet expectations. For Tesla's loyal fan base, this is more than just a disappointment. It's a betrayal. Many of the early adopters who placed pre-orders have waited years for a product that, in its current form, doesn't match the vision they were sold. Online forums are filled with complaints. Videos documenting quality issues have gone viral. Owners who expected a cutting-edge, rugged EV are left with something that feels unfinished. Financially, the Cybertruck has created serious problems. Tesla is now facing mounting inventories. Dealers are hesitant to accept Cybertrucks as trade-ins. The resale market is cold. Buyers simply aren't lining up. In fact, some used Cybertrucks are selling at steep discounts, an alarming trend for a company that once prided itself on vehicles that hold their value. The broader industry is also watching closely. For competitors, the Cybertruck's failure is an opportunity. Rivals are learning what not to do. Don't overpromise. Don't alienate your audience. And don't ignore the importance of consistent execution. Internally, the Cybertruck has revealed cracks in Tesla's product development pipeline. As the company tries to juggle multiple models and pursue bold innovations, quality control is suffering. Tesla once had the luxury of being the only real EV game in town. That's no longer the case. With automakers like Ford launching the F-150 Lightning, a more traditional, reliable electric truck, consumers now have choices, and many are choosing brands that don't gamble with quality. In the end, the Cybertruck was supposed to be Tesla's game changer. Instead, it has become a lightning rod for criticism, a product that represents not just engineering missteps, but a deeper erosion of trust between the brand and its customers. For Tesla to recover, it must do more than fix the Cybertruck. It must repair the damage done to its image, its promises, and its ability to deliver on the bold vision it so often touts. As Tesla's reputation crumbles in Europe, the vacuum it leaves behind is being swiftly filled by a new generation of electric vehicle leaders, many of them European. Brands like Volvo, Polestar, and Volkswagen are not just stepping in, they're redefining the standard for what a modern EV company should be. And they're doing it by aligning with the very values Tesla is being accused of abandoning. In markets like Sweden, Germany, and the Netherlands, local automakers are enjoying a resurgence. The shift isn't just driven by nationalist pride, it's driven by strategy. These companies are listening to what consumers want. Vehicles that are not only clean and efficient, but built ethically, marketed responsibly, and backed by reliable service. Take Volvo, for example. With its deep Scandinavian roots and decades-long commitment to safety, it has naturally positioned itself as a leader in responsible vehicle manufacturing. But in recent years, it has gone further, accelerating its electrification goals, investing in battery technology, and embracing transparent sustainability reporting. Polestar, Volvo's performance-oriented EV spin-off, has carved out a niche of its own. With clean, modern designs and a laser focus on environmental impact, it appeals directly to the progressive values of European consumers. The launch of the Polestar 3 and upcoming Polestar 4 models reflect a brand that is not only competitive on performance, but also deeply in tune with its audience. Volkswagen, meanwhile, has made major strides to regain trust after the emissions scandal that rocked the brand nearly a decade ago. Its ID. 3 and ID. 4 models have become popular across the continent, especially among middle-class buyers looking for a solid, affordable EV alternative. VW's focus on consistent production, quality engineering, and wide availability has positioned it as a stable, dependable choice. But yet it's not just the products themselves, it's the narrative these brands are creating. European automakers are carefully crafting marketing messages that resonate with local values. They highlight ethical sourcing of materials, support for unionized labor, and investments in local production. Sustainability isn't a buzzword, it's a commitment they can back up with data. This stands in sharp contrast to Tesla's recent struggles. While Tesla battles headlines about union disputes, Twitter controversies, and quality control, European brands are telling stories of collaboration, innovation, and stability. It's a message that's working. Infrastructure investments are another area where European automakers are gaining ground. Volvo and Volkswagen are both investing in expanding public charging networks across the continent, often in partnership with governments and utilities. These efforts are designed not just to sell cars, but to make EV ownership genuinely easier and more practical. This holistic approach, one that goes beyond the car and into the ecosystem, is what sets these brands apart. It's no longer enough to make a fast, stylish EV. Success in today's European market requires a full commitment to transparency, community engagement, and cultural alignment. And while Tesla remains caught in a storm of its own making, Europe's EV giants are quietly building empires. Tesla's once unquestioned dominance is slipping, not because others caught up, but because others listened to the market, to the culture, and to the people. As they continue to do so, Tesla will find itself not just challenged, but replaced. While Tesla's position in Europe deteriorates, a new global force is quietly taking control of the electric vehicle market: China. Chinese automakers like BYD, NIO, and XPeng are not only growing fast, they're executing with precision. And in the wake of Tesla's brand erosion in markets like Sweden and across the EU, these companies are stepping in with a clear message: innovation doesn't have to come with chaos. In the last 5 years, China has become the world's largest producer and consumer of electric vehicles. And this isn't just about government subsidies or national pride. It's about smart strategy, reliable production, and a clear understanding of what the global market wants. While Tesla fights to maintain relevance in politically sensitive regions, Chinese EV makers are staying focused on what matters most to consumers: affordability, consistency, and functionality. BYD, often called the Tesla of China, has rapidly expanded beyond its domestic borders. Its lineup includes models that are reliable, stylish, and far more affordable than Tesla's offerings. The Dolphin and Seal models in particular have made headlines in Europe, where they undercut the price of Tesla's Model 3 by several $1,000s without sacrificing features. Buyers in countries like Germany, France, and Norway are now taking notice, especially as inflation and cost of living concerns rise. But BYD's success isn't just about pricing. The company has maintained a laser focus on quality control, supply chain resilience, and local market adaptation. It doesn't have the same public relations baggage Tesla carries, nor does it suffer from the kind of production delays or headline-grabbing controversies that seem to follow Elon Musk. Then there's NIO. While it may not yet be a household name globally, NIO is making waves with its battery swapping technology, an alternative to fast charging that's particularly appealing in dense urban centers. Rather than waiting for a vehicle to recharge, NIO drivers can pull into a station and swap out their battery in just minutes. This kind of innovation demonstrates a deep understanding of real-world EV usage, especially in Europe's crowded cities. XPeng, another rising star, is leaning hard into advanced driver assistance systems and smart integration. Its P7 and G9 models showcase autonomous driving features and high-performance specs that rival Tesla, but again, at a lower price point. And unlike Tesla, Xpeng's software updates are carefully tailored to comply with local regulations and user expectations. This flexibility gives it an edge in foreign markets where Tesla's one-size-fits-all software approach often runs into legal or consumer hurdles. What's striking is how Chinese EV brands have managed to avoid the political minefield that Tesla has stepped into. BYD, NIO, and Xpeng do not tie their corporate identity to outspoken CEOs or controversial political positions. They focus on their products and their customers, and the strategy is working. Chinese automakers are also forming strategic partnerships with local governments and companies across Europe. These alliances help with infrastructure development, service networks, and brand familiarity. They're playing the long game, embedding themselves into local ecosystems rather than trying to dominate them from the outside. And it doesn't stop at cars. China's EV dominance is reinforced by its control of the global battery supply chain. Chinese firms like CATL produce a significant percentage of the world's EV batteries, and their grip on rare earth elements used in battery production gives Chinese automakers a logistical advantage that's hard to beat. As Tesla struggles with brand identity and Elon Musk's growing controversies, Chinese brands are presenting themselves as a calm, capable alternative. They don't generate headlines, they generate growth. And in a post-Tesla Europe, that's exactly what consumers are looking for. If Tesla was the spark that ignited the EV revolution, China now holds the torch, and it's moving quickly, illuminating new paths in markets that no longer look to Tesla for leadership, but to brands that promise stability, neutrality, and value. As Tesla falters and Chinese automakers surge forward, another segment of the electric vehicle market is experiencing its own crisis, the luxury EV sector. Brands like Mercedes-Benz and BMW, once confident in their ability to dominate the premium space, are suddenly facing an uncomfortable reality. Their traditional strategies are no longer working, and they're being squeezed from both sides by affordable newcomers and shifting consumer values. At the heart of the issue is pricing. For decades, luxury automakers relied on exclusivity, brand prestige, and superior craftsmanship to justify premium price tags. But in today's EV market, buyers are no longer simply paying for a badge. They're weighing ethics, environmental sustainability, and practicality more heavily than ever before. Tesla once fit the bill as a luxury disruptor. It offered cutting-edge technology wrapped in sleek, minimalist designs, and its high prices were justified by perceived innovation. But as Tesla's brand has become more volatile and its vehicles increasingly scrutinized for quality issues, buyers are asking themselves, is any EV really worth paying this much for? Mercedes and BMW find themselves at a crossroads. On one hand, they must maintain the image of exclusivity that defines their brands. On the other, they need to adapt to an industry that's being democratized by Chinese and American competitors offering similar technology at lower costs. To complicate matters further, economic pressures like inflation, rising material costs, and increasing tariffs on imported vehicles are eating into their margins. The solution many are now considering, shifting production to the United States to avoid tariffs, comes with a different kind of risk: brand dilution. For luxury European brands, made in Germany or engineered in Bavaria isn't just marketing, it's a legacy. Relocating production may be a smart economic move, but it threatens to weaken the very identity that has made these brands iconic. Consumers are also getting smarter. They're looking beyond horsepower and leather interiors. They want to know if their EV was built ethically, if the materials were sustainably sourced, and if the automaker stands for something beyond profits. In this arena, legacy luxury brands are struggling to keep pace. Mercedes-Benz, for instance, has launched its EQ lineup, sleek, high-tech electric models aimed at affluent buyers. But despite the vehicle's engineering prowess, sales haven't reached expectations in key markets. Critics argue that Mercedes has failed to make a compelling case for why their EVs, which are often priced tens of thousands higher than rivals, are worth the premium. BMW faces a similar challenge. Its I-Series EVs are well reviewed, yet overshadowed by Tesla's brand recognition and undercut by cheaper, reliable Chinese models. And as consumer focus shifts to total cost of ownership and brand ethics, BMW's traditional strengths, performance and luxury, are becoming secondary. Some brands are pivoting their narrative. Mercedes has begun promoting its commitment to carbon-neutral production. BMW is experimenting with plant-based materials and highlighting supply chain transparency. These are important steps, but in an increasingly competitive market, they may not be enough to regain momentum. The irony is that while these companies once feared Tesla as the disruptor, it's now brands like BYD and XPeng causing the most disruption, especially in Europe. These competitors offer vehicles that meet or exceed expectations at a fraction of the cost, with fewer political headaches attached. The luxury EV sector, once positioned as the future of automotive excellence, is now facing an identity crisis. Do these brands double down on exclusivity and risk becoming irrelevant, or do they adapt to the shifting landscape and risk losing the luster of their legacy? No matter which path they choose, one thing is clear: the rules have changed, and prestige alone is no longer enough to win in the electric era. For most of Tesla's history, one thing has set it apart from competitors: relentless innovation. When critics questioned Elon Musk's leadership style, Tesla responded with faster cars, better batteries, and groundbreaking features. But now, as the brand faces a credibility crisis in Europe and growing competition from both ends of the market, a critical question arises: can innovation alone still save Tesla? Musk appears to be betting that it can. According to reports from inside the company, Tesla is doubling down on its research and development efforts, particularly around solid-state battery technology. These next-generation batteries promise to be lighter, safer, and significantly more efficient than traditional lithium-ion ones. Some prototypes suggest that Tesla's new batteries could double the range of current models while reducing charge times dramatically. For consumers in Europe, where range anxiety and charging convenience remain key concerns, this would be a game changer. But the timeline is uncertain, and with each passing quarter of underperformance, Tesla's window to regain consumer trust narrows. Another rumored project is the development of a smaller, more affordable Tesla model aimed specifically at urban European markets, tentatively dubbed the Model 2. This vehicle would be priced well below the Model 3, offering a compact, practical solution for everyday drivers in dense cities. The idea is simple: compete directly with VW's ID.3 or BYD's Dolphin by providing a stripped-down Tesla that retains its core performance and software features. On paper, these innovations could be exactly what Tesla needs. They address the biggest pain points currently plaguing the brand: pricing, practicality, and technological stagnation. But the problem isn't just product-based, it's about perception. Even if Tesla delivers a record-breaking battery or a revolutionary new model, will it be enough to overcome the distrust that settled in among European consumers? Will the headlines about Musk's politics and anti-union sentiments be forgotten just because a car can go farther on a charge? There's also the matter of Tesla's financial position. Innovation is expensive. Developing new battery chemistries, expanding gigafactories, and launching new models all require massive capital. And with Tesla's profit margins shrinking, cash burn is becoming a real concern. Investors are starting to worry. How long can the company sustain aggressive R&D while fighting PR fires and declining sales? Then there's Musk himself. While he remains the face of the company, his public persona is increasingly seen as a liability. Every tweet, every off-the-cuff comment has the potential to overshadow even the most exciting product launch. As Tesla tries to shift the narrative back to tech and away from politics, Musk's unpredictable behavior keeps pulling it in the opposite direction. Internally, there's debate over whether Tesla should begin elevating other executives, engineers, designers, or sustainability officers as public faces of the company. Doing so could help distance the brand from Musk's controversies. But such a move would be a major cultural shift within a company that has been built around the cult of its CEO. At the core, Musk's gambit is clear: remind the world why Tesla mattered in the first place. Not because of politics, not because of showmanship, but because it changed the game. Whether that strategy still holds power in 2025 remains to be seen. But for Tesla, innovation may be the last card left to play. Tesla's problems in Europe are no longer confined to production delays or missed delivery targets. They're deeper. They're about trust, values, and identity. And at the heart of it all lies a question every brand dreads. How do you rebuild public perception when the narrative has already turned against you? Rebranding Tesla isn't just a marketing challenge, it's an existential one. In markets like Sweden, Norway, and the Netherlands, Tesla is no longer viewed as a symbol of progress or sustainability. It's become emblematic of volatility, unpredictability, and increasingly political controversy. If Tesla wants to win back consumers in these markets, it must do more than tweak its advertising. It must redefine what the brand stands for. The first and most obvious move is distancing the company from Elon Musk's personal controversies. While Musk's entrepreneurial brilliance helped launch Tesla into the stratosphere, his increasingly polarizing behavior has become a liability. His social media tirades, political endorsements, and public feuds are often covered more widely than Tesla's product announcements. And in Europe, where political neutrality, measured discourse, and social responsibility are highly valued, Musk's online antics are alienating the very consumers Tesla needs most. PR experts suggest that Tesla must begin shifting its public-facing leadership, elevating engineers, sustainability officers, and product designers into the spotlight can help reposition the brand's image. This approach isn't about sidelining Musk. It's about letting the technology and mission speak louder than the tweets. The company's marketing strategy also needs a reset. Gone are the days when being the disruptor was enough. Today's consumers, especially in Europe, are more discerning. They want transparency, ethical production, and a clear commitment to social values. Tesla must lean into these expectations. One idea gaining traction is a series of community-based initiatives. These could include partnerships with European environmental NGOs, investments in green infrastructure projects, and collaborations with labor rights organizations. By aligning Tesla with causes that resonate locally, the brand can begin to rebuild emotional connections with consumers who have drifted away. Another important strategy is narrative control. Tesla needs to reclaim its origin story, not just as an EV maker, but as a company founded on the promise of accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. That mission still holds power, but it's been drowned out by controversy. A renewed focus on clean energy, climate impact, and environmental responsibility could go a long way in refocusing the brand. Digital campaigns should highlight Tesla's positive impact, millions of tons of CO2 avoided, energy storage breakthroughs, and renewable energy adoption. These are the stories that matter to Tesla's original audience. These are the stories that can still resonate. However, rebranding is not without risks. Every campaign must be backed by real actions. Consumers today are quick to spot greenwashing or superficial activism. Tesla must ensure that every promise is measurable and every claim is backed by data. That means publishing sustainability reports, opening up supply chain audits, and demonstrating genuine accountability. There's also the challenge of humanizing the brand. Tesla has long been viewed as a tech company, sleek but impersonal. With trust eroding, now is the time to put a face to the teams behind the innovation. Interviews with Tesla's European engineers, factory workers, and sustainability leads could help reshape the image from a Musk-centric empire to a global, mission-driven collective. In short, Tesla doesn't need a new logo or a new slogan. It needs a new tone, a voice that speaks with humility, purpose, and local relevance. If Tesla is serious about reclaiming its position in Europe, it must understand that this is no longer just a battle over cars. It's a battle for hearts and minds. And in that battle, sincerity will matter more than speed. Tesla's stunning collapse in Sweden was not just a blip on the radar. It was a turning point, a signal that something far deeper is happening beneath the surface, something that numbers alone can't explain. In the past, Tesla dominated headlines as the disruptor, the innovator, the brand that made electric cool. But now it's making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Declining sales, political controversies, quality issues, and eroding trust. In Sweden, the fallout is undeniable. Sales have dropped by over 90%, not because EV demand vanished, but because Tesla failed to evolve with the cultural and political expectations of its most progressive markets. And that collapse didn't stop at Sweden's border. It's spreading across Europe like a ripple turning into a wave. Elon Musk's leadership style, once hailed as bold and visionary, is now viewed by many as reckless and polarizing. His political stances, union clashes, and erratic online presence have become inseparable from the Tesla brand. And in regions where collective responsibility, ethical labor, and political neutrality matter, that's a liability. Meanwhile, rivals have seized the moment. Chinese automakers like BYD, NEO, and XPeng are not just catching up, they're pulling ahead. They're offering more affordable vehicles, backed by strong infrastructure, with none of the political baggage. European brands like Volvo and Volkswagen have found new strength by listening to local values and emphasizing transparency. American competitors like Ford and GM are reclaiming ground by focusing on middle-class practicality and reliability. In this new EV landscape, Tesla is no longer the only player, or even the most trusted. It's just another brand in a rapidly crowding market, and the mystique that once surrounded it is fading. Still, this doesn't have to be the end of Tesla. The company remains a technological powerhouse. Its innovations in battery performance, vehicle autonomy, and energy integration are still years ahead of some competitors. It has the capacity to rebound, but only if it learns from the moment. That means rethinking not just products, but purpose, reestablishing trust, respecting the nuances of international markets, letting innovation speak louder than ideology. And most of all, understanding that in 2025, building a great car is only half the battle. Being the kind of company people want to support is the other half. Tesla disrupted the world once. Now it must disrupt itself before the world leaves it behind. Once again, thanks for watching this video. If you got something out of this, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next one. And hey, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Agree, disagree, or something in between. I'd love to hear it.